soaring eagles, developing breeds of excellence.
Welcome to another episode of Soaring Eagle Talk Show. My name is Faith Ehi, and we'll be talking on an important topic today. But before we go ahead, we have a guest here tonight, and she'll just quickly introduce herself.
Hello everyone, my name is Mrs. Odinaka Loveline Vincent. I'm so delighted to be part of this program today. So I am an entrepreneur. I make bags, and then I'm also a certified trauma caregiver. I'm very passionate about reaching out to persons who are traumatized, and I find great pleasure doing it, seeing that people get better. I'm also very passionate about working with the youth, especially the young ladies. So I'm most delighted to be here today.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma. We are glad to have you on board, and we are hoping to learn one or two things from you. So quickly, the topic of our talk today is the aftermath of Eros love. The aftermath of Eros love. So before then, we've previously talked about what love is generally. We mentioned types of love. Okay, I'll just mention just few of them. We have agape love, we have filial love, we have Eros love, we have storge love. Okay, but then we're focusing on Eros love, right? So we want to know your perspective on love first of all before we niche down to Eros love.
Okay, for me, love is a strong compassion, is a strong concern and desire for someone or for something. So it's that strong feeling of love and care for someone and for something.
Wow, love is that strong feeling for someone and something. All right. The next question is going to be, what is Eros love? We want to know what Eros love is, because we have what is love. We want to know what is Eros love.
Okay.
Yes.
Eros love, as the name sounds, it's erotic.
Okay.
Is a love that is based on physical attraction, is based on emotional excitement, sexual pleasure. So it's a love that is romantic. So it's basically based on physical attractions, and then basically physical. So anything that arouses a person, and then this love can actually be addictive also. That is, it's a strong force, a strong passion. It's passionate. It's physically related.
All right. So I can say Eros love is related to romance.
Exactly.
All right. Are relationship meant to be built on Eros kind of love?
Relationships are not meant to be built on Eros love. There is a need for balance. Eros love is not suitable, it's not a good foundation to lay a relationship on. First of all, it can be unstable. It's one that persons can get involved in and they're not committed. Yeah. There's no maturity, there's no it doesn't have a depth. It's something that could just be for a while and it's off. So relationships are not meant to be built on Eros love only. There's a need for balance, having the other kind of love hand in hand together.
Okay, there is a need to have other kinds of love aside Eros love. Okay, that will take me to my next question. What are the motives that drive Eros love?
Okay, some of the things that drive this kind of love, like I said, is physical attraction.
Okay, yeah.
You see someone, person is wow. Just that physical appearance, outward look can just be the motive. This person is just it. This is my spec. This is all I need. So persons don't get to, I don't want to know so much about the person, but his look, her look is just the perfect thing for me. There is that emotional excitement that could be the drive where I feel something for this person. Let's explore. Let's try. Let's get to know what's there. And then we have that desire for intimacy. For some persons, they just always want to be clingy. They always want to have someone to hold on to, someone to be attached to.
Yeah.
So that could be the reason why, that could be the motive for Eros love. And some persons is their way of trying to escape from loneliness. So they get involved, and then some is their way of running away from rejection. So having someone who accepts them is worth anything to them. Yeah, so that could be reasons why persons get into Eros love.
Okay. Back to the question. What are your thoughts on the ideas that Eros love can be all consuming, but yet fleeting?
Yes, Eros love can actually be all consuming and fleeting at the same time. Like I had explained, is requiring is passionate. So, and then I said it's addictive. So it can consume a person entirely. Sometimes even a person can mistake this Eros love to be the true love, the real love. You could see it could consume a person, like the person is willing to do everything, anything to get this love. And then it takes, of course, your time, resources, and it can actually all consume a person. Like I said, it's addictive. One can get into it, maybe let's just try this, but then before you know what, it's going in and going in and going in, and then sometimes even when it ends with one person, you can find someone else to rest on. If this doesn't work out, it's easy to always
So you know
find,
it's like a circle.
yeah, exactly. So it's more like, well, once I start, this person doesn't give me as much as I want, I have to find someone else that will give it to me.
Okay.
So
Thank you very much for the answer. To our next question. Why is it so harmful to practice Eros love?
oh well, why is it so harmful to practice this kind of love? Like I said, first of all, it's physically based, and we know that love is more than just the physical. So if something is built basically on the physical, so once that physical goes out of place, that love can be dashed.
Yeah.
So it's harmful to practice just this kind of love because it's not sustainable. It's not stable. It's one that one cannot fully pour out. Then it comes with a number of things. There are those kind of unhealthy patterns it can bring forth in a person. Okay, let me assume two persons are into erotic love, right? So there could be unhealthy attachment to this person. This one person can become too clingy to the other person.
Yeah.
And when these things go sour, you see people getting depressed, getting into loneliness. Some persons could be suicidal. So, and then it could also, like I said, being addictive. It could now turn out to be a lifestyle of persons always searching for someone who will give them love. So it's that harmful because it could open that person to a lot of dangers, to a lot of persons, to a lot of experiences that one might not have naturally had if or normally had if they had not involved in
Yeah.
erotic
Eros love.
love.
Okay. So our next question: can the emotional high of Eros love leads to depression and anxiety in a relationship?
Yes, it can lead to depression and anxiety. Yes, very likely. Since it's actually based on the physical,
Yeah.
there's always that it's very high, or it's very possible for persons to want to pretend. One would not want to show his or her true character. Even when I see that this person is attracted to me, I like to be at my best. You like to be at your best. So there is a high level of pretense so as to also win that person over. Sometimes, though not all cases.
Yeah.
And then yes, the high and the lows. It could lead to anxiety, being anxious. I hope I'm good enough. I hope it's all fine.
Just want to make it all right.
Oh
Not
yes,
trying to be yourself.
exactly. I hope my clothes are good. I hope I'm anxious because I just want this person to be pleased. I just want this person to just be okay with me. You shouldn't look outside. You shouldn't think of another person.
Yeah.
I hope I'm good enough. So sometimes when it doesn't work out, depression sets in. Oh, she's heartbroken. Oh, he's heartbroken. Then some persons now set so much walls and boundaries. I will never love someone again. I'll never trust someone again. Oh no, all guys, you hear this talk about all guys are wicked.
Yeah.
You hear ladies, a man will say, don't trust any lady. You know, some of those things came as a result of this kind of experiences they've had with other persons. So you see some persons bringing this kind of stories and ideology and beliefs about relationship. They tell you, don't trust any lady. Don't tell her everything. Don't tell him everything. Make sure you have someone else as a backup.
Yeah.
Don't give all your everything to one person. You know, all of those things come as a result of the high and the lows of the Eros love.
And that can also affect the next relationship with the person.
Very true. There are some persons that actually find it difficult to have a healthy relationship because of experiences they have had before. So if someone has been engaged in sexual relationship more, the person is not likely to know how to relate on a normal ground without sex. It's going to be hard. Do you understand? If he or she goes to a relationship that might not be sexual, the person wouldn't find it satisfying. So there must be sex in it. So sometimes those persons are not able to have a healthy, normal relationship with another person because of these experiences they have had.
All right. So our next question: how do individuals reconcile the loss of identity that is often accomplished with Eros kind of stuff?
Okay. Let me speak a little about that loss of identity. Sometimes it could be like, let me use myself as an example. Let me say a young man is interested in me, or he finds me attractive, and then he makes me feel I'm the top of the world. I'm the best in the world.
Exactly.
Oh, when you step, the whole world shakes. Like, it makes me feel all of that. And then it tears apart. There's a tendency of me feeling like I'm not worthy anymore. Like I lose who I am, the sense of who I am. I lose my identity. I feel like, can I ever be good enough for someone else? What if someone else doesn't find me attractive? So a number of these experiences can affect individuals' identity, how they see themselves after this. And then, you know, all the way, depending on how it also crashed, there's some persons that at the end they tell you, useless. I just had to manage you. You have no, you. Oh, I couldn't even believe I went out. I couldn't even believe I did this with you. So that could totally tarnish that person's image now. So how can this person reconcile the loss of identity? Now, I think it's important, first of all, for the person to really come back and then do an honest self-reflection. Why did I go into this? And then it's also important for a person to be honest with his or herself. Sometimes we can lie to people and be like, yes, this is it, but it's good to be very frank and honest
Yeah,
with
be
ourselves.
truthful to yourself.
That's the beginning of the healing, actually. So a person needs to be honest with his or herself, do a self-reflection, and then the person also needs to see his or herself, who God sees him or her, the way God sees him or her. I think that's one very important thing that one needs to know in order to be able to gain one's self-esteem. A number of persons begin to have low self-esteem after this kind of experiences they've had. So it's important to see oneself the way God sees you. How does God see me? God sees me as a precious, treasured jewel. For me, He went all the way. So whatever has happened, it has not changed God's love for me.
Yeah.
God is still all out there for me. So I feel that when a person is able to look at his or herself from God's perspective, that person can still see that he or she is still very important in God's sight, and then it's not useless because this didn't work out. And then I think in some cases, depending on how severe it is, this person might need to find someone to speak to. Maybe like a counselor, maybe a family friend, to gain some support. So like I said, I'm also involved in trauma caregiving. So some of the time we could have cases like this where we could have someone really broken and shattered, and then through counseling and prayers and with the help of God, the person is able to regain his or her image back again.
You've said a lot on this aspect, and should I say impressed, or I've learned from what you said, right?
Thank you.
The person should find his identity in God, know what God has said concerning you. I think that will give you, okay, like you said, that's the beginning of the healing process, right? All right, so our next question: can the high rise in family crisis and divorce be likened to this matter?
Yes, it can. Because when persons quickly jump into love because they are physically attracted and maybe sexually attracted to each other, and then they just jump into this thing, then later they realize, oh no, I didn't know about this, I didn't see this, I'm done, I'm not doing anymore. So it's yes, it could lead to divorce, it could lead to a lot of domestic violence, it could lead to an unfulfilled marriage. So that's why basically one shouldn't, even the Eros love is not supposed to even be the starting point of a relationship. Like people already going sexual before getting to even know themselves well, before getting to know if do our beliefs rhyme, are we spiritually compatible, can we do this together, are we matured enough to take what comes with it. So the Eros love is not supposed to be like the starting point of and then the starting and the only point people rushing to get married. If not, it will actually lead to a lot of family issues.
Okay, so what can be the effect of building family system on such kind of love?
Building a system, building a family on a system like this is, like I said, first of all, there will not be commitment, there will not be emotional maturity, there will be instability, there will be insecurity. So the woman can feel like, who knows if he has found another final lady outside.
Actually,
Yeah, like,
and then you don't even have your identity. So
oh yes, any little thing she does or he does, be like, I hope she's not trying to find someone better than me. So you see, that's why, okay, some persons, they're so picky about their spouse's phones. Like, who are you chatting? Who is sending you messages? Who is all of that? So because the foundation was built on something that is not firm enough. So I see that it could actually bring a lot. And then talking about maturity, emotional maturity, persons cannot handle their emotions. You could see outburst of anger. Sometimes it could be on the high, sometimes it could be on the low. the wife is totally detached and separated from the husband, even though they're living in the same house. They're not able to communicate. There's no clear communication. One, she's living here. They're actually divorced, but though they are living in the same house.
Yeah.
So these things really do a lot of damage, not just to the parents alone, but even the children. That's some of the reason why we have even children growing up from this kind of home. They find it difficult to um, have healthy relationships with people. There are some persons, because of their upbringing and what they've seen from their parents, um, they don't want to even get involved with anyone. They always want to be alone. Their privacy, their security, there's that gap. Maybe because of those things they have seen, they wouldn't want to even be vulnerable. There are other persons that they're all just clingy. They're jumpy to anybody that gives them attention. Once you make them feel special, wow, you've gotten everything. Once you shower them with gifts and everything, that's all. So we have this kind of unhealthy patterns that could come up as a result of these things that happen in homes or in families.
Okay. So our next question. Can individual who have experienced Eros love struggle with intimacy or trust in subsequent relationship?
Very well, very well. They can struggle with trust. I've met persons that tell me they will never be able to trust anybody. Yes, I've met some guys that feel like trust girls are the most terrible persons you can meet. Yeah, because of experiences they have had. And there are those things when you hear, even your heart could actually be hot because of the experiences persons have had. And that's why till today it's actually important that before one gets into something, you would have understood what you're going into and why you're going into it. So trust, having been in an erotic relationship can break trust. There are some persons I know they're married today, right? But they don't totally trust themselves. That's how bad it can be, even in marriage, because of these experiences. And then for some persons, they don't get to realize they have been traumatized. And then so they don't get to seek help. They feel like, I'm fine. This is just me. This is who I am. I don't trust anyone. But they don't realize, no, this is not just you. You have been hurt. So you are traumatized. That's the reason why you can't trust anyone. So these things can actually affect the trust in a relationship.
All right. So our next question. Do you believe that the aftermath of Eros love can be transformative experiencing, allowing individual to grow and learn from their emotions?
Well, it can be transformative. I think they say, there's this thing I've heard, they say experience is not what happens to you. Experience is what you do with what happens to you.
Okay. And you like to
So,
say that again.
okay. I've heard them say that experience is not what happens to you,
Okay.
but it's what you do with what
What
happens to you. Someone could have had an experience of being burnt with a fire. It has happened, the person has been burnt. But tomorrow the person sees fire and still puts his hand. That means the person has not learned from the experience, even though he or she has experienced it. So it can be transformative. If a person maybe had this experience and then was able to learn through it, maybe sought counsel and then found a better way to go about it, and then the person is able to patiently perhaps begin another one, not on the basis of erotic love. So that could actually redefine relationship for that person. But for someone, it might not be transformative. It could just be, okay, this is one of those bad experiences. But then it doesn't stop anything. I'll still go, I'll
You
still
still
find,
continue.
exactly, I'll still find whoever I'm fine with, like, let's just do this, let's just do love and all of that. So I think it's relative. It can be transformative for one, it might not be transformative for another. So like I said, two persons can have the same experience, but then one person is able to make something good out of that experience,
Yeah.
but the other person perhaps not able to learn from the experience, still falls again and again and again.
So one person can decide to learn, and then the other person can decide not to learn.
Exactly.
All right. In what ways might the aftermath of Eros love impact relationship with family, friends, or community?
Okay. In what ways? There could be emotional withdrawal. You see persons that just lock up. I don't want to get so involved with anybody, with anything. Some persons now, in a bit of, okay, emotionally withdrawing, now get attached to their
Um,
phones. This internet living can be fake. Persons tell you, I'm so excited, I'm happy. Oh, but then the person is right there in tears. I'm like, this life is useless. But the
yeah.
person is saying something entirely different. So there are persons that get to even hide their emotions, or then use the social media as a way of trying to escape this sad experience. So one of the effects could be distancing, emotional withdrawal, a person not wanting to get involved with people. Another effect of this thing could be difficulty in forming relationship. I don't know if you've met some persons that even being friends with them is difficult. Today they're here with you, tomorrow they're nowhere to be found. Today they do this, tomorrow you can't find them. So even making friends on a general note is difficult. I don't know, have you
Not really.
met someone like that? Okay, there are
Really.
some persons that even having normal friendship with them is actually difficult. Then there are some persons that are very fearful. They're fear of vulnerability, fear of opening up. Maybe they've had a sad experience. So right now, they're not willing to let themselves to anyone. They're not willing to be vulnerable. They're not willing to be open. So you see some people that they say they're hard. Nothing moves them. It's some of those persons are really very soft inside, but they just created those walls, and then they don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be open to anybody. They don't want you to see their weakness, so
Yeah.
that you don't someone doesn't ride on them because of this. So that could be a result of that. And then we could see even changes in social behavior. Maybe someone who used to be friendly around everyone, hello, hi, and then makes people laugh, jovial. All of a sudden, that person can now turn out to be a timid, quiet, and withdrawn person. Person no longer socially involved. Maybe someone that used to be active, but you see, the person, I don't want. That could be as a result of these things, and these things can actually affect a person psychologically. It can actually alter a person's life entirely. So I think it's important for youth to really understand these things before they will be quick to jump into this thing. It will last for a while, but then the aftermath can last for a lifetime.
All right. Thank you very much for exposing us to that. To our next question. In what ways can the experience of Eros love shape an individual's sense of self-worth and self-growth?
Okay, in what way can it shape
Yeah.
that individual sense of self worth? I would say it affects individually. It affects individuals differently.
Okay.
So just like maybe the hardship in the economy is making some persons prosper. On the other hand, it's making some persons suffer. but it's still the same situation. So two persons might have this experience of erotic love, and then for one person it could be a point of breaking.
Yeah.
Like it's a point of breaking. This is depression. Person is withdrawing. Like, is this what love is? I'm done with it. I don't want any more. I wouldn't want to give myself to anybody anymore. Even I cannot trust any man. I'm done. Because of that sad experience. Someone else can be like, oh wow, this is not good, but I want to get it right this time around. So the person can now perhaps seek support and try to understand, this is what happened in this relationship. What did I not do right? Or what should I have done better? So I think with that, this person's self-worth is still retained. Person now understands that the fact that this thing went sour does not mean that I don't have value.
Yeah.
It does not mean that my life is useless. So, but then this other person could see like, I loved this person with all my heart and this happened. So there's no need me living anymore. Like my life is worth nothing.
The
So
person is like doesn't have anything else to give out. So
exactly. So it depends on the individuals and how they handle it. Some time ago in our area, I was told, I saw a signboard of an 18-year-old lady. It said painful exit. And I was shocked. 18 years. I was like, what happened? He said she drank sniper.
Wow.
Because her boyfriend, is it he sent her away or that he went out with another lady? And I was like, wow, that had a strong impact on her. So you see, some other persons can have that kind of experience and learn from it. Or for this person, it was a breaking point and it went too far for her that she had to end her life. And so it's also important for even an individual to understand what kind of a person I am. And I shouldn't joke with some things.
Yeah.
Do you understand? If you know that you're one who dearly loves you, you give your best, I don't think you should consider going to erotic love, because it could drain you, it could drain the person at the end, might not always be good. So I think when we also understand ourselves and even our self-worth, we know that we cannot settle for some things. And that's why it's also important, like from the beginning, when we understand how God sees us, then there are those things we will not do, because I feel like I'm somebody's treasured jewel. So I can't find myself just doing certain things. Like I can't find myself hanging around the guy. I'm holding him everywhere. He's holding me everywhere because I'm just attracted to him. Do you understand? So because I see myself as so important to God, then I would be careful how I live my life.
All right. Thank you very much. Our next question is, in summary, what can you say to be the destination of Eros love, and can its desire be satisfied?
Can its desire be satisfied? I don't think its desire can be satisfied. I think it's like fire.
Okay.
Fire keeps burning as long as you keep putting something to it. As long as you fuel it, it will burn. And it's all consuming, like we said before now, that Eros love is all consuming. It can consume a person entirely, completely. So a person can go on and on and on. And like I said, it's also addictive. So it's one that can totally alter a person's life. So in summary, what's the aftermath or what's the end of erotic love? Well, I would say, because it's not a firm foundation to build a home, if one begins on it alone, that home is most likely going to be shaky. and might break. So it's not a firm foundation to start a relationship or to build a relationship. And persons who depend on erotic love to gain love, to gain attention, in a short while, they would almost always be disappointed because it will not last. That's why some persons will keep going for one person because they didn't get it here. They want to find someone they hope they could get it from. Try to find someone they hope they could get it from. So it cannot be a good ending.
Yeah.
So the balanced love is having this the agape love, the storge, the philia, and then of course even in marriage there's erotic love. That one is legal and is fine. So but then having only the erotic love is not a good starting place because it will always have a sad ending.
Okay, thank you very much. For me, what I got from what you said now, we should not just focus on having the Eros love alone, like even in marriage, right? Since that is where it's legal, so we should also have all that kind of love to balance it.
Mm.
Okay, I don't know if you have one or two, like just one word, two words to say generally.
Okay. I've worked with a number of persons,
Yeah.
and I've heard a number of stories of persons who have had serious heartbreaks. These things are real. A number of times, persons are not really educated on this matter. When they just feel an attraction, they feel like this is love and this must be it. So perhaps they're not able to find counsel, and then they go into this thing. And like we have said, that this thing does not have a firm foundation to hold up a healthy relationship. As they go on and on, it leads to many things. And then the end is always very sad. So I would honestly speak to young persons. We have very fresh blood flowing in our veins, and there's always that desire to explore. But I'd like to say, before you explore that world, count the cost. Like scripture says, before a person starts building a house, count the cost. Can I bear what would come with this? And am I ready for this? So let's also understand it's not just based on the physical attraction alone. There is a lot more that is required in love. So I would say that young persons is good to feel attracted to someone, but don't be led by your emotions alone. And I believe when we take caution and we seek counsel, we will not be misled. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much for sharing with us tonight. We really learned a lot. We hope to hear from you some other time to learn more from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, and I'll be glad to meet with you again some other time. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you very much for what you shared with us tonight. I've learned personally, and I believe the audience too have also learned from what we've talked about today. And I just want to also add that since Valentine is by the corner, just few weeks from now, I want to let us know that we should not just focus our love on Eros love alone. We shouldn't. We should be able to balance the four kinds of love which I mentioned earlier: the filial love, the storge love, the Eros love, and also the agape love. Right? So we should not allow our emotions overcome us, overshadow us. And if you have been traumatized, and if you are already seeing some challenges in you, there is a way out. There are solutions. Just like our guest has said, you can talk to people to help you out. All right. So see you next time on the next interview.